Hello, my Juicy co-creators. Lilu here. I'm in Chicago on the Juicy Living Tour. And let me tell you, this is going to be a very, very juicy conversation because we're going to talk about soaking our nuts. Is that right, Karyn? I'm with Karyn Calabrese here in Chicago at Greens.
Yes, we're going to all learn to soak our nuts. I mean, I know that sounds a little salacious, but there is a reason to it. And the first reason for it is it makes you smile, right? If you hear soak your nuts, it makes you smile. And I want to bring humor and laughter and joy to every aspect of life, to juicy living, actually.
Yes. Yes, and this place is sure juicy. This is not our first interview. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot from our previous interviews. It has been seen by thousands and thousands of people. You were a guest on the Oprah show in 2000. You have 3 amazing restaurants in Chicago. For me,
I was on again last year too. I was on Oprah again last year.
There we go. And you're definitely a goddess, isn't she? 64 years old. Turning 40.
With no Botox, no surgery, not that I have a problem with any of that. You know, we all make choices that make us comfortable. Mm-hmm. But I've chosen, and I'll be real honest, if I didn't know what I know, I'd probably be right there on the table or with the needles in my face also. But I do know that we don't have to age at the rate that we do. I know the process is so speeded up by the choices that we make every day. So it's kind of like I want to keep my roadmap visible so I don't forget and fall asleep like a lot of the world is.
Yes, and your big secret, and this conversation, I mentioned Soak Your Nuts because this is the latest book from Karyn, and that is absolutely wonderful, and that we're going to talk about. But really what we're talking here in this conversation is going to be about raw vegan diets, isn't it? And cleansing and detoxing.
Detoxing and vegan and raw and cooked. It's about making choices that support your body and the planet. Mm-hmm. And it makes all the difference in the world in how you feel, how you look, your energy levels. I've been a vegan for 42 years. Mm-hmm. I've been a raw foodist for close to about 30 years now. And it means I eat no meat, fish, chicken, or dairy. Mm-hmm. And I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs. I just shop. I guess that's my only vice. But the thing of it is, most people feel that they really can't live without these foods, and there's been such a ridiculous amount of bad information put out, and it's put out by all the people that can profit from people eating meat, fish, chicken, and dairy. And the reality is we can survive quite well and thrive even better when we eliminate it from our doctors. And that's what my mission is. That's what my life has been about, is helping people to find a bridge. Because I also don't believe there's a right or wrong or a good or bad, and it's my way or the highway, or, you know, everybody. It would be a wonderful, lovely place. But if we could all, but, you know, we're all on a journey. Life is the university. And so we're at different levels at different times. Not one is better than the other. But what my mission and vision is to help people realize that they don't have to stop at one place, that they don't have to be sick and die at such an early age the way so many people do. I mean, the human body is meant to last several hundred years. So this dying off at 60, 70, I mean, I'm supposed to be middle-aged. I can't even relate to that in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not special. It's not just for me. It's just that most people are asleep to the reality of how we can live. They assume if they haven't been diagnosed with an illness that they're healthy, and they're doing just fine. And what I found, and what I've been able to help thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people with, since I've been teaching this for about 30 years now, is that when we clean out our bodies, when we change our lifestyles as gradual or as quickly as you choose to, it's like miracles start to happen. And they aren't really miracles, they're our God-given right. We're intended to thrive the way I feel every day of my life. And so my mission, my journey, and my book is to help people to wake up to a different reality, not necessarily my reality, not I would love for you to be a raw foodist or a vegan or all these things, but, you know, that's not in the cards for everyone at every moment in their lives. It is a journey. It's getting on the journey that's so important. And that's what I believe my book is helping people to do. It's helping them to get on the journey, whether they do everything that I recommend in the book or not. At least it's planting new seeds. You're sprouting new ideas for yourself. And that's what's really important. Just don't be asleep and complacent and assume that you're supposed to be whining and miserable like most of the people are. You know, you meet people all the time. How you doing? Oh, I'm tired. How you doing? Oh, I need to lose weight. How you doing? Oh, I've got hot flashes. rashes or blah blah headaches or whatever. And that's not a natural state for the human condition. It's the body trying to wake you up and tell you, I've got too much of what I'm not supposed to have and not enough of what I'm supposed to have, because there's a plan for this magnificent machine, and it's learning how to get in the plan. Let's go to God's pharmacy as opposed to CVS and Walgreens pharmacy. You know, buy your eyebrow pencils there. You don't have to get to sustain your body. Because I also don't believe that an illness is a sentence for life. A diagnosis is a sentence for life. It is a wake-up call. And in my book, we have quite a few testimonials from people that have detoxed and the miracles that they get from it, but they aren't really miracles. Once again, it's our God-given right. I have 5 doctors that have given me testimonials because they send their patients, and they've come in themselves and done the detox. So it's not anything really woo-woo, as my husband calls it. It's just we all intuitively know how to take care of ourselves. We've just forgotten. And I hope my prayer, my vision is it helps people to wake up to what they already know.
Yeah, to our full potential, and food is so much part of that. It feels like the more we're eating healthy and vibrant food that receive the sunlight, the more we start to really shine. I mean, you shine. You're a poster child.
There you have it. Well, for those of us who've gone to the raw food world, you know, I like to remind people, dead food, you look and feel dead. That's foods that have been heated over 120 degrees and the enzymes are gone. And live food, you look and feel alive. Oh, what a concept. You have living cells. You give them living food. You get new cells every 7 years. You get new tissue every 3 months. And if the body doesn't get enough living food, it starts to die out. Well, you know, most people have 10% raw, maybe a glass of orange juice in the morning and a salad at night. And I'm just saying, switch the dynamics around. Maybe 80% raw, 70% raw, 60, but just the small amount. And the reason for the raw foods being so important are the enzymes. And when foods haven't been heated over 120 degrees, the enzymes are still present. Well, you need enzymes for every metabolic purpose in your body. And when the enzymes are gone, that's when you die. So to me, it kind of makes sense that the more enzymes you add, and not only to me, but hundreds of thousands of people now, and all you have to do is look in the mirror. You can look at yourself and see the changes, like you said, as you come alive with the energy of the sun, when you have sun-cooked foods as opposed to stove-cooked foods. It makes all the difference. I don't like to convince people. I just like to say, try it for a week and then tell me I'm wrong.
Is there some challenges being a raw vegan?
Yeah, I think there are quite a few challenges being a raw vegan, in the fact that there's a Starbucks and a McDonald's on every corner, and one raw food or 2 raw food restaurants per city. And we're such habitual creatures. We're used to convenience and habits. And so I would say the most difficult part is changing your habits, which with my detox class, it helps you to do that, because it's been proven that it takes 21 days to change a habit. And our program is 30 short days. I like to remind people, 30 little days out of the whole year I'm asking you to devote to you. And so probably the biggest challenge is it's not convenient. And then the second part is our bodies are always trying to reach homeostasis, this acid-alkaline balance, and 90% of what people put in their bodies is acidic. And the more acid you have, the more you want. And so breaking that chain, breaking that cycle of, okay, cooked food, and you know, I've been guilty of it too. Every time I opened up a new vegan restaurant, I get kind of caught up in eating more of the cooked food, because first I have to taste it to make sure the public's going to be happy, you know, my name's on it. And then the tasting, I'll never forget, I called Victor Kolbenskas, who's one of my mentors. And I said, Victor, this is when I was opening up my first cooked restaurant, Karyn's Cooked on Wells Street. And I said, Victor, you know, I make food all the time at home and I don't taste it, and I'm using some other people's recipes, and how am I going to do this and stay raw? So he said, well, Karyn, taste it and spit it out. Great, that's a great idea. I'll chew it and I'll spit it out. I won't swallow it. Well, the first time I tasted it and I spit it. Second time, a little bit swallowed, more. And let's face it, cooked food is delicious. And we have a tape, a memory that's been playing over there for a lifetime. And I'm just not a tight-ass person that's going to go, I'm going to do this and nothing else, you know. I allow myself the process. So I've gone off from time to time. But the beauty of it is all I have to do is look in the mirror, and that vanity takes over. because you can see the difference in how you look, how you think, how you feel. And so I recommend, even if you're not going for 99 or 100, just make sure you incorporate more raw, and maybe you're at the stage where you just need to eat less animal products. You know, that's a beautiful start, and you'll get phenomenal results with just that if you just give up the animal products. And the single worst thing that humans do are dairy products, you know. And
why is that?
well, we aren't created by God.
Gosh, I love your ring. I haven't seen it.
Oh, thank you. This is a local artist that's doing these. Yeah, thank you.
So dairies, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm being kind calling it dairy because it's really a cow secretion. It's a secretion, breast milk from a cow. And humans are the only animals that voluntarily do the breast milk of another animal, and we're the only animal that does breast milk into adulthood. And it doesn't matter if you call it cheese or yogurt or ice cream or butter, it's still a secretion from another animal that was meant to grow 1,000 pounds the first year of its life. So you go on your diets and you do cottage cheese, you do yogurt, you wonder why you reach a plateau, and you don't. Well, you're taking in a fuel that was intended for an animal to grow very large very quickly. And I know they had those ads on TV for a while with, you know, take three servings a day and your waist will be like 20. It's a lie. And you notice they pulled it too, because enough of us called in and said, where's your research from? And they did the research, they came up with the answers, and it just isn't true. Cause and effect. You can't take in a substance that's created for an animal to grow fat and big real quickly. Not to mention all the animals in this country get growth hormones, steroids, and antibiotics, and the growth hormones just don't grow the animal, it grows you too, and it feeds the cancer cells in your body. And the antibiotics are making your body more and more resistant to bacteria in the system, and we're supposed to have some bacteria by the way, but it's making it more resistant. I mean, all of these chemicals that we are taking in on a regular basis were not intended to go in here. God's pharmacy is nothing like the warehouses and where they're doing these things. I mean, it's outside, it's in nature. And if you have a headache and you take an aspirin, your body wasn't lacking in aspirin, right? If you have acid reflux, your body isn't lacking in whatever that purple pill they give you for the acid reflux. In fact, if your body's trying to throw it out, let it go. It's got a wisdom. It's going, oops, I don't need this. And you want to take a chemical to hold it in. And that's really bizarre thinking to me.
And this is more Band-Aid fixing. It feels like there is huge lobbies, though. There's huge money involved with the milk and everything.
And the dairy industry, absolutely. I mean, you have huge campaigns of even presidents with milk mustaches. You know, schools make it mandatory in some states for the children to have this because the schools have to buy a certain amount. And
that's how it started, I heard. Like in France, at least in Europe, they used to put the milk on the table for the kids, and it started from school. It was a school ritual, and then it started becoming, unfortunately, what it is.
And people think you can't get strong bones and teeth without cow secretions, but a cow is a vegetarian animal. You know, a cow isn't drinking cat milk to get calcium. You know, a cow isn't drinking the milk of another animal. We actually get usable calcium from seaweeds and seeds and nuts and so many other ways of getting usable calcium for our bodies. You don't have to suddenly go on calcium pills if you're not doing dairy. I haven't had dairy in over 40 years.
And it's not a problem getting older with the bones?
I'm 64. I'm supposed to be in osteoporosis, right? Well, I take a professional advanced ballet class with girls 22 and under. I'm not as good as them, but I'm in the class, you know. That's what's important. They let me in the class. But you actually suffer from osteoporosis from eating too much red meat and drinking caffeine, which leaches the good calcium out of your body. So it's not about doing more dairy products. That's such a fallacy. There are entire nations, there are entire people that don't do dairy products. I mean, when's the last time you saw dairy in an Asian restaurant?
I heard, especially for Asians, it's highly not recommended.
For anybody. Yeah. But, you know, some people in other cultures have built up more of a tolerance on an evolutionary basis, but everybody's allergic to it. You don't have 4 stomachs. You don't have lactase to break it down, so why would it work for you?
What are some of the alternatives then for instead of having milk? What do you recommend?
Right. Well, there are many things on the market now. When I was starting out, it was very limited. All you had was soy milk.